Today on the podcast, we are talking about keeping up with the Jameses. That's right, keeping up with the Jameses. If you didn't hear what we were talking about in our last podcast, you're in for a treat, I think, right? In for a treat. Anyway, Frame Money Podcast starts right about now.
Get your mind right. Get your mind right.
It's a brave mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frame Money Podcast. This is your boy Simbawi Nibaye Jr., aka TK, along with my man Omar Williams. We call him O, and Denise Obi. We call her D Nice. Y'all say what's up to the peeps.
What's up, good people?
It is another lovely Wednesday morning. And y'all know how we do. We get things started and pop them right away. But before we do, it is Affirmation Wednesday. And if you have your affirmations memorized or got them written down, let's get that started. If you're getting the replay of this via video, it's affirmation whatever that day. And if you're getting the audio of this, it's affirmation whatever that day is too. They're good for all days. But for us, it's Wednesday morning, so let's get to it. Are you ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. Today is a good day. Today is a great day. Today is an awesome day. Today is an amazing day. Today is a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I will become better than who I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it started. Excuse me. So today we are talking about keeping up with the Jameses. And you're saying, what is that topic and what do you mean? Well, if you heard our last podcast that we did, we pretty much gave you a open book to the next topic, what we're going to talk about. If you didn't listen to that one, go back, listen. It's a good one. And then come back and listen to this one, or listen to this one now and go back and listen to that one. Whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. But we're going to jump right into this one. So as many of you know, I prefer not to talk on the topic of Bronny James because of just the hoopla of all that it is. But I think that it was as like we're not sports analysts or sports journalists, but we talk a lot of sports here, or we talk enough about sports. And as I said before in our last podcast, you know, sports is about a frame of mind, right? You have to. It's mental, it's physical, it's spiritual, it's emotional, everything. So all of it has to deal with the frame of mind, right? So for the life of me, right? I've been thinking to myself, what made the Lakers organization decide that drafting Bronny James at the 55th overall pick in the second round was what they needed to make their team better for the future or this season? Now, I don't think it was for this season. I think it's for the future. Again, I don't know what their mindset is. This just kind of was, that's the pick you're going with. And listen, it was no surprise. Everybody knew it was going to happen. We all know that this was something that LeBron wanted. He talked about it for the past few years or so. And pretty much it came to fruition because that's what he wanted. I'm gonna say this one last thing, and I'll let Owen Denise go. LeBron James is the owner of the Lakers. The floor is yours.
Oh, you can go first on that.
All right. Well, okay. So let me just start by my thoughts about LeBron James and everything. I don't think it was a future move. I don't think they got Bronny for the future. I don't think they think he's going to be this outstanding point guard that they just have to develop. I think it was a 100% LeBron move. Senior, I'm sorry. 100% LeBron senior. I think he wanted to break another, I don't know if it's a record or it's the first. Maybe. I think it's a first that he's the first father that was able to play in the NBA with his son. So I think it was all publicity. I think they said, we'll give him this $8 million. They might as well put that on LeBron's contract. And he just gave his son like an allowance. Like, son, if you come out now, you come out the NBA. I know you could probably stay in college a little longer, but if you come out now, I'll give you $8 million, part of the that'll be part of the deal. They'll sweeten the deal. We'll get to come out off the bench together, and we'll make history together. You like it? I don't think Bronny had a choice. I think Bronny, you got to get down with King James. King James says it. King James wrote it. It is written. It is done.
It is written, so let it be so.
So let it be so. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man. I think Bronny. I will get into it more. I don't want to take all the points off the top, but I just think yes, LeBron James does own the Lakers. I think he's a cash cow. He brings a lot of money in, and I think he wanted this moment. He chases a lot of moments, but I'll get into that later. So that's my take on that.
Oh, he's ready to go. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Denise.
I say I have to agree with O. I think of it like Bronny is the cake. Like all the ingredients were there, but they didn't give him enough time to bake, basically. So they just pulled him out because Big Bron said, "Hey, I want to be the next father-son duo. Let's do this now." And he flaked. And I mean, he has the talent. It's just he needs more of the developmental skills and the more time to develop. And also, I think Bronny, if you realize Bronny's only had the NBA experience as sitting as a courtside fan. He's never had the experience being on the court, being with the team, being in the locker room feel. So I think that's another factor that played into kind of putting him in too early into the game as well. And because of his name. And so it's, what's that word called?
Nepotism.
Nepotism, yes. Nepotism.
There you go. Nepotism.
That's basically what the word is nepotism right there. And so the cake went in at 350 degrees. And as soon as it started rising a little bit, they took it out and then now it started to fall. So as it started falling, it wasn't ready. So now they got to put it back in.
Listen.
Wow.
I
Good
didn't,
exactly
I didn't say it. Denise did. Denise called Bronny James cake.
Called him cake.
I say you
But
got the talent. That's all
you know, technically an unfinished one, but hey, it's a cake, right? So
Cake. Yeah.
anyway, so let's look at this here, right? And I know we're gonna have some laughs today because this is a very funny topic to me. I mean, it actually made me not want to watch sports shows for like 3 weeks when this came out. I was like, I don't want to hear about Bronny James. I don't. And it was just inevitable. So I'm like, all right. Now, if I had been a sports analyst or a sports journalist, like I would have had to cover this. And having to cover this would have made me feel like, man, they actually want me to do this. So I had to do my job, right? But then, there are topics that come out and it's kind of like, all right, this is actually worth talking about because it does bring about conversation, And so I know we're kind of circling back to what happened, but I think all in all, after talking about the whole Tyson-Paul fight, and then we kind of got a little bit on the Bronny James thing in last segment, we're like, oh, you know what? Let's just do a segment on this because it kind of correlates together. This is a move all about money. And this
Mhm.
move, all about money, has absolutely nothing to do with the Lakers.
Mm-mm.
Has everything to do with LeBron James. Everything to do with LeBron James, period. Like O said, he basically is giving his son an allowance and
Yep.
saying, hey, I'm kind of setting you up for life.
Yep.
You really don't have to work ever again in your life, except for working hard to play on a team, either the G League or the NBA, one or the other. And I'm going to say this, man. Let's just go through Bronny James' stats from USC. Now, let me take a quick pause here. We do understand that there was a health issue that Bronny James had that could have cost him his life. So we don't want to skate over that. We are very happy that he's still here with us. He's healthy, and that he's back on the court playing basketball again, whether it was in college or wherever. So we don't want to negate that. We're not skipping over that. We are glad he's in good health. From an NBA standpoint, in no given time that I have known the game of basketball from a child till now, do the stats that Bronny James had at USC measure up to what an NBA prospect is. So if we look at his stats and we see what his stats were at USC, he averaged 4.8 points a game, 2.8 rebounds a game, 2.1 assists a game. Those were his stats. Now, the 4.8, I think that might not actually be accurate because that looks like that's Fox Sports. I think that might not be as accurate. Let me go. Hold on. Let me go up here. Hold on. That's about accurate. 4.8 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 0.8 steals, 0.2 blocks. He played 25 games, averaged close to 20 minutes a game, shot 36% from the field, shot 27.7% from the three-point line, and 67.6% from the free throw line. I don't think those are NBA stat worthy.
Far from.
No, far from it.
Far from.
Far from it. So it is inevitable that LeBron James is the orchestrator of all this. Now listen, LeBron James is a father. I don't fault him for what he has done because he's a father who loves his son, looking out for his son. I get that. And I am all for you doing for your son as a father. I'm not negating, like, if you are a father, do for your son as much as you can while you can. And then when he becomes a grown man, it's like, okay, I've taught you all that I can. I've done all I can for you. Hey, now you're on your own. And in this case, Bronny James, whether on his own or not, as long as he does right with his money, will never have to work another day in his life. You give me $8 million, I'm going to make that last the rest of my life. I'm going to make it bigger, larger, whatever. Invest it. Make sure I don't overspend. Make sure I live within my means. Call it a day. That's it. So if I never make $8 million ever again in my life, at least I got $8 million now up front to do what I need to do and got to do. Me and O, we're going to be investing and making things happen. You know what I mean? So on top of that, I might even buy a couple things from a business perspective to keep that money rolling in, right? So here's my question. Not really a question, more of a statement, I would say. Does Bronny James, based on his stats, deserve to be in the NBA?
I can give you a short answer, or you want a long one. But no is the short. No is the short.
Well, now what's the long answer?
The long answer is no right now, maybe later. Okay. Maybe if he works on his game a little more. But you can't coach height, right? So he doesn't have height. But you can coach a jump shot, and he has natural. He's very athletic.
He's athletic.
Very athletic. So he can D up a professional. Like he got the potential to lock down a pro style player, right? Only issue is his height. So okay, you give him some more time, he probably could have got on the end of somebody's bench eventually.
Okay.
I don't think he's coming off the bench getting buckets though. That's my opinion.
So back to my comment about the cake. I think that was the oil, the eggs, the flour that all didn't mix well. That's the stats right there. I agree with O. I think in the long run he can. I think he needs to call on like Steph Curry's training coach, Scott Brickley, to help him with the shooting. To at least if you get the shooting down, at least you
Right.
can work with something right there.
Yes.
And so he can, you have the money, you have the funds, like, pull in the resources to help you develop as you're in the G League now. So then say maybe next year, 2 years from now.
I think we lost you there, Denise.
You back?
So
There we go. You're back.
yeah. So at least develop the skills now. So even if you're in the
She's having technical difficulty right now. Oh, they want to get that statement out. She's making a very good point there.
yes. So did you get my statement?
No.
Now say it
Okay.
again.
So I'm saying pay for the skills now, because in the long run, you gotta shape your frame of mind. So pay for the skills now,
That's
and
it.
then in the long run, as you develop your frame of mind, 2 years down the line, then we can be like, all right, he deserves a $55 million 5-year contract, whatever it may be. That's
Love
what I
it.
gotta
Okay.
say.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I think that long run he'll deserve and earn it. I would say.
Yeah.
I believe so. Now,
Mhm.
the future is left to be said, right, about how this is going to all turn out. Again, O made a perfect point. Height is an issue, but
Right.
I see like this. He does defend well, but height is an issue there.
Mhm.
A guy that I played in high school with and played in some summer leagues with was Dante Jones, right?
Mhm.
So Dante Jones, he had two things he had going for him. Dante could jump out the gym, and Dante could defend. And that's how he got to the league. He could jump out the gym and he could defend. And so Dante's job in the NBA was to guard the other team's best player. That was his job when he was in, guard the team's best player. All right, defend, and then every now and then we might throw you a lob to the rim and just dunk it. But Dante was 6'5", but he could jump, and he played very well on defense. He also won a chip with LeBron and the Cavs, so he's sitting pretty. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think that Bronny James, from a defensive standpoint, could be a guy who could play good defense, get good minutes. Scoring is still left to be seen. He's not going to be a rebounder. He's not tall enough to be a rebounder. He can see minutes in the NBA game when he develops his game. But overall, I think that this was LeBron's one of his to-do lists. And when he saw the opportunity, he took it, and everyone jumped on board. And this is why everybody jumped on board, right? Talked about this a while ago. We said, when you work for someone, or you see an opportunity for not just the person to make money, but for you to make money, you're going to jump on board.
Jump on board. Yep.
And so everything that LeBron touches, it makes money. Again, it's not him. It's the people he has around him that helps him make those decisions. And they're doing that because, well, the more money LeBron James makes, the more money we going to make, right?
Mhm.
Their frame of mind is, whatever James say, that's what we going to do. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
Now, my other thing is this. And I can't say how many players, I don't know. But in the scope of the whole draft thing, I mean, how many players do we know or think of or that might have been undrafted because of the whole Bronny James deal? I can think of one, and I actually have a name of that one player that actually did not get drafted.
Right.
Now, I can't necessarily blame this on Bronny James, but if you look at the stats and the body of work, he should have went before him or should have got drafted in general. And that person is in the person of his teammate at USC, His name was, hold on, get his name real quick. His name was Boogie Ellis. Boogie Ellis, 6'1", 190-pound point guard. He averaged 16.5 points a game, 3.5, yeah, 3.5 rebounds, 3 assists per game in the Pac-12 conference. He later signed, not drafted, he later signed with the Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
Again, not drafted, signed
Right.
with the Sacramento Kings.
And that
Quick-
means a lot.
Quick history on him. So it says here that he started out playing at San Diego. I'm sorry, I think Northern California. I'm sorry. He was the point guard from San Diego, California. He was not taken in the 24 draft, but soon signed with the Sacramento Kings. It says that he played in the NIT, originally committed to Memphis, where he led the Tigers to the NIT championship and was named the American Athletic Conference 6th Man of the Year before going to USC. Where there he averaged 16.5 points a game. Not drafted, but then signed the Sacramento Kings. Now, again, I am not going to sit here and blame Bronny James for that, but if you have a player on the team that is averaging 16.5 a game as a point guard, I'm just saying. Now, I don't know who else might have lost that train because of that. But listen, it's only one pick. At the same time, the stats and the pick just don't add up, right?
Don't add up.
They don't add up. Now, mind you, our listeners out there, you guys are saying, man, like, Barry, you going in on Bronny James. It's not really the fact that I'm going in on him. It's the situation, right? Because in the essence of all of the world, any player with these kind of numbers, the NBA wouldn't even breathe on.
Mhm.
Right? So again, all orchestrated by LeBron James. And again, he's a father. Not mad at him. Do what you got to do for your son or to kind of help him along. But like O said, it feels like he kind of got an allowance, a very nice allowance,
A lifetime one.
an $8 million allowance.
Yeah.
To number one, to get drafted to a team and then go to the G League. Which also to me was kind of like, it just seems like it's just kind of all part of the theatrics of Hollywood. Right? So
Yep.
I'm gonna stop talking. You guys kind of make some more of your points here. I know O got a few more points to make, and then we can keep going. Or stop.
Yeah,
whatever.
I got 2 points. The first point I'm gonna make about like the NBA pretty much showed you that it's all about the business and the entertainment, the actual winning and making the league better. If they wanted to make the league better, they wouldn't have allowed that. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have. And I guess you can't tell a team who and who not to draft, but
Mhm.
it would have been some backdoor conversations like, yo, I don't think we need to draft. Like, I don't think that's good for the brand of the NBA. Not necessarily the Lakers, but like just the brand. Like, we want to say we put the best players in the world on no matter. Like, it's a thing where like the 12th man on every team will cook the average baller. Like, he can go to college and drop 40 right now. The 12th,
Right.
like
right.
the 12th guy on every NBA team was probably a superstar, state champion, probably got, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
NCAA title. Like, he's the guy because it's only 12 guys on a team. So the fact that was 12 guys on a team, 32 teams?
Right.
That's like less than 100. That's like 100 and something guys in the whole world. And
Yeah.
Bronny is one of them. It's just bad for the brand. And to my second point, to the nepotism, I 1000% agree with nepotism because a lot of times you don't get to see people like us. When I mean like us, read between the lines, being able to put our children in those type of situations, right?
Mhm.
You see it in the business world a lot. You see it in the music world a lot. You see it, and I'm a big fan of it, but I also don't believe you should put your child. You should set your child up for success if you're going to do the nepotism thing. And it's like you don't make the guy the star quarterback of the Cowboys because you're the owner of the team. Like, no, he's not. He shouldn't be the star quarterback, but he could be on the coaching staff. He could be a trainer, right? Like you can groom him to be the GM, but he don't have to be the star quarterback. Like, set him up for success. Bronny could have took over for what's his agency called? Is it the name?
It's
I
Rich
can't remember off
Paul.
the top of my head. It's Rich
Paul.
Paul.
Rich
He
Paul.
could have got him a job with Rich Paul.
Yeah.
Learn the job, and just it's a lot of things he could have did with the game.
Yeah.
But again, who am I? But I am a big fan of nepotism. I think it's one of the greatest things a parent could do. But setting up for success, though, I don't put them in a position that they're going to get scrutinized and failed at. I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'd say I agree with nepotism. I agree, like, for it being the right way, being done
Yeah.
the right way. But also Rich Paul, he did come out and say, I forget what news broadcast asked him, but he said, what would you do if Bronny doesn't get drafted? And he said, we'll just take our talents elsewhere. And I'm like, that to me was like, okay,
Yeah, they're
what
controlling.
do you that's controlling, because now you're trying to give people more heat, because if they don't pick him on the right team, or even the Lakers put him on the right team. And my second point is, this is why one thing I've always been taught is you can't have too many yes people in your life. And this is exactly what I see in this whole situation. Is Bron, the family, Rich, they all had too many yes people in that circle, or even too many people in general in the circle saying, yes, he's ready. Yes, do it. Yes, 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 yes. LeBron James, yes, yes. And then now you see him in the G League. So if they would have told him, hey, 100%, I'm not knocking his talent, not knocking anything he's doing, but at the time, I believe he's not ready yet. And that's what they need, is more 100% no people. We all need it. And for Rich Paul not to say we're taking our talents elsewhere if we don't get drafted. And that's
I mean, the question is, like, where's elsewhere?
Exactly.
Where's elsewhere? Where else are you
Overseas.
going? That's the only other option.
Was
And it's-
LeBron's? Okay, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Was LeBron's contract signed already, or were they waiting? Like when he said this statement, were they waiting for LeBron to sign again?
I don't
Like,
know.
Was
That
he
I don't
on
know.
the?
I don't
Okay,
know.
okay,
I don't know.
okay.
That I don't know. That's something we could
Because
look
maybe that
into,
could have
but-
meant we're taking our talents to a team that's going to draft Bronny.
Mm-mm. It was
I-
for Bronny.
Okay,
I have
okay.
to be
Mhm.
honest. Even if that
Okay.
was the case,
Uh,
LeBron ain't leaving LA. That's his last stop.
okay.
He's not, and when he's done, when he retires, he's going to live in LA. That's the plan.
Right.
So even if that was kind of like hinted to, because you wanted to kind of add a little fuel to the fire, that wasn't going to happen. I mean, in all honesty, I believe Rich Paul knew for a fact the Lakers were going to draft him. I think all of that was just part of the Hollywood part of it. Well, if they don't, we'll take our talents elsewhere. Then somebody gonna run with it, right? They're gonna run with it.
Right.
So you know,
Sometimes
it's
you gotta
all a part of the the game, right? So all in all, I will say this. Congratulations to Bronny James on being able to secure a life that pretty much was handed to him. And listen, not mad at him. I actually do hope that he does well and doesn't just at the end of the day become like, man, like he just really bombed out. Because personally, I personally don't think he's that kind of baller.
Me neither.
He could be someone who can play in the NBA, but like that kind of baller, when your father's LeBron James, like the standard's already high. Like now it's kind of like you got to perform. It's like with Michael Jordan, like he was like, I don't want my son to play basketball. I don't want that pressure on them. Now, one of his sons did play, but he played And it was like, all right, he was good enough to play on a team, but he had no NBA aspirations. None
Division three,
whatsoever.
Yeah.
The last thing I will say is this, and we can comment on this. You got D Wade's son. You got oh my gosh.
Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony's son.
Okay.
You got a few former
Gilbert
NBA
Arenas.
players, Gilbert Arenas, whose sons are out there who are
Mhm.
making their way through the ranks. Is this because no mistake about it? They've all retired and are gone, so they're not playing basketball with their sons in the NBA, right? And more than likely, their sons are going to go to the NBA. That's likely going to happen. But do we see that this might be a trend that happens later where other players are saying, you know what, I want my son to play with me on a team too. Or I want my son to play in the NBA too. And they might not be ready for it, but it happens because now, well, LeBron James has started it. Let me capitalize off what LeBron James did. Do we see that possibly happening?
I think if they could pull it off, I think that will be the trend. But I feel like everything got to line up perfectly for that to happen. One, you got to have your son at like 19, 20, right? Two, you got to have a 20-year career where you're still good in your 20th year and able to call the shots. Them two factors are going to be hard to duplicate. You're not getting another LeBron. Right? I don't even know another player who had this amount of power. Maybe Jordan on a team. I don't know. Like, he's got a lot of say-so. So you got to have say-so and have a child at like 19, 20.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do think the trend will continue if able to duplicate it. Yeah, I think people will definitely try for sure.
Okay. All I have to say is I do see this becoming a trend, and just look at LeVar Ball and his kids. He
Right.
didn't play, but just look at
Yeah.
how every last one of them, they are in our faces, branded, whether it be basketball, whatever it may be. And so I do see that being the thing of the future is father and son duo just being in the NBA like that.
Got it. And again, I am all for fathers setting their children up for success, especially their boys for success. All for that. Again, a bit of a controversial, situation. And I say controversial because of the talent and the stats that came along with it. In no way, shape, or form are we saying that Bronny James can't play basketball. Bronny James can play basketball. Just as, is it NBA level talent? You know what I mean? And so as of right now, the fact that he's in the G League, I think it speaks volumes to the fact that he's not ready for the NBA. And they clearly knew that. But they wanted to cater to what LeBron wanted. And that they have their right to do that as the organization. They can do that if they want to, right? He got what he wanted. I guess Bronny James got what he wanted. And in all honesty, listen. Here's the real question: what does Bronny James want to do?
I was just about to ask that.
What does Bronny James want to do? Does he want to play in the NBA? Or does he have aspirations for something else?
In the way it looks, it don't look like he cares. I don't think he cares about that. He didn't care about that moment like his dad did. I'll just put it that way. That's my opinion.
Right.
It doesn't look like it. Don't look like it.
Like I've never seen him look like he's happy with what he's doing.
Right.
So it looks like it's kind of being forced on him.
Like he's always been forced the ball. Yeah.
So, and again, he may like it, but he may not love it. And that's two different things. When you like something, you're like, I like it, but when you love it, like you go all out. And I'm not sure. I'm not convinced this is what Bronny James wants to do. I think I would love for someone to ask that question and we find out what Bronny James really wants to do. If it's ball, then okay, it's ball. If it's not, you might want to take that $8 million and go do what it is that you really want to do. You want to start that business. You want to do whatever it is you want to do. Because now you can kind of almost do anything with $8 million. Start your
Right.
own business, do your own thing,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So that's the real question I think we have to ask. What does Bronny James want to do? So, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that Bronny James wants to be an NBA player? Do y'all think that this is what he wants? This is what LeBron wants? What the family wants? You know, you answer the question. What do you think? Anyway, any last words before we go?
I'll say this: when you don't have to earn a spot or fight for something, and things are just given to you, you take away the passion of it all. It's like you don't have the same hunger for it if you're giving everything. Like, so he was given one of the best high school teams in the country. He shouldn't have probably been the point guard, but he was the starting point guard. So he was given that. So even if he loved the ball, I believe there was a point where he stopped loving it because he never really got to earn a spot. He's like, all spots were just created for you, and here's your spot, Bronny. Here's your spot, Bronny. And it's like, even if the man loved it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did at one point. I think his dad took that love away, and now it's just a job. It's the family business, right? It's the family business.
Yeah,
Mafia.
Family business.
The
Yeah.
basketball mafia. We just
Exactly.
He's just going through the motions.
Going through the motion.
He's just like, okay, warm up. All right, warm up. Game start. All right, let's get in the game.
Yep.
It's just motions to him now, and you can tell. And I'm like, do what you want to do. Like, then you have the name, you have the brand, and it's not like his name is tarnished or anything. But go do what you really want to do.
Yeah.
But Kian Anthony, however you say his name.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be he's the truth. He's gonna be a force to be reckoned with at Syracuse. So
yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
I think he might be better than his father. I think.
Yeah.
I gotta wait to see that.
I know. I
gotta wait.
If he trends in the right direction, I think
right.
he has potential to do so. Listen, he was, but and then we don't get too far off topic. But the only difference between that I look at Carmelo is he was an ISO player,
Right.
and when that happened, the team is not involved,
Right.
And so if his son can get that down where it's a team concept, that could actually, I think that could put him over the top of his father in the long run. But we'll see. We'll see. All I'll say is this. We hope for the best for Bronny James.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
There you
Like,
go.
on a serious note, we can talk and laugh all day long about what's going on. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we hope the best for him. And I really hope that if ball is not what he wants to do, he finds what he wants to do when he does it. But if ball's what he wants to do, I'm like, all right, ball, do your thing. You know what I mean? So all the best to him and the James family. Look, you know, we're not hating on nobody. It's just, these are topics we talk about, and we're like, look, we see what the sports analysts are saying, we see what the journalists are saying and all that. It's like, but what does the general public think? And I think a lot of times we have conversations around what the general public thinks, or what the general public sees, or what we see, or because the eyes, like, we see what's going on, but the question is like, okay, like, outside of the journalism and the analytics, it's like, what's really going on, or what really may be happening? Again, like I said, I've never seen him look happy on the court.
Good point.
So that's an observation. It's like, okay, do you really want to do this? Or it's just kind of like, man, like, I got to play my part in order to get, you know, my cut of the family business.
My cut
you
of
know?
the family business, right?
So anyway,
Right.
But again, love and respect to the James family. Look, I can't be mad at what they're doing, what they're building, as long as it's something that's, you know, not detrimental, you know, to the people at large. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Do your thing. Well, for all of us here at the Play On Any Podcast, continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. Until next time, myself, Denise, and O, we holla. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.